Welcome to Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur with Nancy Gaskins, where we're inspiring and teaching everyday people how to create and fund a life worth smiling and talking about. Personally, I believe one of the best ways to do that is to become an entrepreneur and own and operate your own business. My name is Nancy Gaskins, and I'll be your host today. All of our shows are recorded and archived, and you can find them on your favorite social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I'd like to invite you to come join us each Friday from 11:30 to 1 for our Lunch and Learn Zoom Friday call, where we have entrepreneurs from all over the world from a variety of industries who come in and help one another rise higher, go further, faster. This fall, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've invited a variety of entrepreneurs from all over the globe to come in and share their entrepreneurial experiences. We've got people from all experience levels, like I said, from all around the world. So this is really, really great, rich content that you're going to be hearing from. And you know, sometimes we wonder, is it all that it's cracked up to be? But let me tell you what, we can't guarantee you millions of dollars or anything like that. But personally, most of us who are entrepreneurs, we wouldn't have it any other way. It truly is a fabulous lifestyle. And we invite you to come and join us on our journey. I'm doing something, a little bit different, and so I hope that you enjoy it. Today's guest is Mr. Richard Morden. Come on down, Richard. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for this. I'm looking forward to it, and what'll unfold as it's going to unfold here. It's all kind of live, but it is.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Richard. Richard uses EFT tapping guiding sessions to bring healing to his clients from trauma, PTSD, anxiety, anger management, and other deep-rooted issues that often traditional therapy cannot resolve. He provides a safe progress and a tender approach to remove the barriers and heaviness that surround personal trauma. He understands the complicated emotions of a breakthrough, a new breath that comes with new life, as well as the tension to hold on to pieces of the past. Helping clients walk through the process. Let me tell you what, I cannot wait for you to hear from Richard today. So Richard, take a few minutes and tell us your story, how you become an entrepreneur, and how did you get into this current business?
Well, life events unfolded for me that I required some self-care in the sense of where I discovered EFT. I was closing in on my retirement a few years away, and I came upon EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, on a webinar series with Nick and Jessica Ortner. Wonderful stuff, and it just happened to be timely in the sense of it was just a few months before my wife passed. She had a brain aneurysm. We had to remove her from life support, and suddenly I'm a single father with my daughter just finishing high school, my son going off to college, and I needed to really look at some self-care. I knew I wanted to be present for my children. It was very traumatic for us, but we're not alone in this. All these events unfold. So I was using the online system of just watching their webinar series and doing some tapping, and thought this is helping, making me better. But I decided to take a course, and that was 2013. So I took a course that fall and thought this will be good to help process this and I can be more present. And that 3-day course opened up some traumas in my body that I had no idea even existed, because we have so many experiences like that. So I really, it was great to take the course to help me be more present, but I really took the course again in the spring and had some more training with my master trainer who helped me really develop the skill set behind it. But we all have these hidden events. And I really looked at, if I have them, I know a lot of other people do. So just as I was going into my retirement, I thought, this is something I can retire with. I have my pension. I was very blessed to have a good career. And I just moved into, 2016, I retired to start building my coaching career, which is still in its infancy stages, working with clients, defining my ideal client. But life events were there for me to take steps. I took the steps, and I'm really enjoying the process and the discovery of self-care. And this is what I teach people, is really how to manage themselves in a very effective and safe manner.
So let's dive into your actual business, your coaching business. Tell us who your target market is and what products and services that you offer.
My target market is actually primary entrepreneurial women, I would say 40 and up. And the reason I say for women, because they're more inclined to look for some type of self-care or discovery to say what they can and can't do in life. Men tend to be more reserved, we're kind of like bulls in a china shop. We thrash around quite a bit and not get a whole lot of results. And women will go out and ask questions why, and so, so the openness is there for them to say, what is it I can do? How can I do this better? And really dig into their self-care. And my primary motive with women, and I focus on this, is teaching people how to say no. We're designed, and many women designed to put others first, to do all these things, to sacrifice in that. And there's a lot of time spent when we say yes to things in our life that we can't possibly commit to. We think, oh my goodness, now I've committed to this, how am I going to do this? And a lot of energy. So I say, with teaching people to say no, I can save them probably 10 hours a week. Just in saying no, not only the worry and stress, but also not putting things on your plate that really you can't do. And no, it's without an excuse. You're going to serve people the best you can. We're all going to help each other out. But what can you do is in your best interest and your families for that. And when you have good self-care, you have good awareness of what else is good for you, that there's a positive feeling in your life of good awareness, mixing yourself, but it's good awareness of being what serves you best, so you can serve the people close to you the best you can. And you understand this, Nancy, how this works with.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I used to be the same way, I would say yes to everything. Somebody needed something, they knew they could call me. Nancy would be the go-to person. Man, she'll pull us out of the fire, whatever we need from her. She is the one. You call her and she'll say yes. And then all of a sudden your schedule is so tied up. And, I learned through some mentorship and some training, that doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your family, even though you can do all these things and you want to be, I'm servant minded, I want to, help in my community, help make the world a better place and all of that stuff. And so that does open up a whole lot of things. But one of the things that I specifically learned was, let's hone in on those things that you're going to say yes to and see how that works with your goals, with your lifetime mission, with your passion and all of those things, and say yes to those. And then if you have some extra time, then you can kind of piece together, some of those other things. But it is hard for some people, extremely hard to say no, especially if you've got, variety. As you get older, you have a lot more talents and experiences and things that you can draw from. And so you do know how to do, quite a few things. So that has been a struggle, I'm sure, not just for me, but for a whole lot of people. One of the things that you mentioned is that you lost your wife, and that has to be, I can't imagine leaving you there with, a couple of children to deal with, your own personal issues. So is there life after losing loved ones? What can you tell us about that?
Oh, absolutely, in a sense. And I saw trauma early in my life. My mom had a long journey with cancer. She had about a 12-year journey. I sat by her bedside for 9 months to watch her pass when I was 21, on losing my wife. My brother committed suicide. So I have buried many family members in cancer and things like that, and been by their bedsides when they passed. So, and we can close off and say, oh, I never want to be hurt like that again. And I never want to be, so I close my heart off. And unfortunately, you keep the pain inside and you close yourself off to so much opportunities. So my work, in a sense, is teaching people that, they say when your heart heals, it becomes stronger, but I believe it has to be open to heal. And my work is helping people have that open heart to heal, because when you can really embrace love for what it is, I'm richer for having those loves in my life. I'm a richer person for embracing and having those experiences, because I know what it feels like to have that. And I held that feeling close to me after that, because I recreated a relationship many years later that I have today after losing wife, because I was open to healing and I was open to relationship. And my word is for this is my desire to have love is greater than my fear of ever losing it. So it's a journey. And I said, a year after my wife passed, my daughter wanted to go to Australia and travel for a year. I went from my wife from kissing her goodbye to go on a trip to 24 hours kissing her goodbye as she drew her last breath. But I still able to put my daughter on a plane to travel for a year and let her have an experience and not be afraid of her not coming back. We have to be open to possibilities in our life, and totally just embrace it and be let life unfold, but embrace life as it needs to be.
One thing that just come to my mind when you were talking about that, you lost your wife, of many years, and how devastating that must be. And then on top of that, you have these two children that you have. And so can you speak to the point where self-care is so important for yourself to heal? And then you have to worry about not just yourself, but now you've got these two children to bring them along on this journey. Do you have any tips or anything like that for people who might have, be going through that?
Well, self-care, yeah, this is where we're when we are wrapped in grief or contracting. My world is about expanding, because when we do self-care and we're open to life around us and also embracing the grief. We have a world that says, don't worry, be happy, and that's totally counterproductive to who we are as human beings. We need to work through these grief stages. We need to do that. But also when we do that, there's so much more available to people around us, to our children, be present with them when they come in the door. We're not fearful. We're not trying to pull them into us. It's a defense mechanism to contract into a life and where they all stay close. I wanted my children, I wanted to have an open, expansive life, but when there's more of me, I teach people how to fill their cup. Fill your cup full of you, so there's more of you to share with everybody else. It's the Buddha principle. When I have so much love for myself, I have so much more available for you, because I choose to love you for who you are. I don't need to love you.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's change focus just a little bit. Let's talk about you entering the world of entrepreneurship, okay? You had a great career. You've got your retirement, which meant probably all of your basics were covered. And so now you can dig in and find something that you're passionate about, something that you love, that gets you excited to wake up every day and go to work. And one of the things that I love about it for me right now is the pivot that I've done. I'm meeting so many amazing people from all over the world. I mean, I literally am just having a ball. I mean, it's not like work at all to me, It's just like, oh, my friendship circles are expanding, So I love that. So what are some tips and advice that you can give to somebody that's interested in becoming an entrepreneur? From your perspective, you left, you retired, and then you had to embark on a whole new journey. So tell us about that.
Well, in a sense too, I laugh because I grew up in agriculture. I grew up as a farm boy, went into and had a really great career in a factory in quality assurance. So I was good at taking orders. I was good at doing what I was told. And all of a sudden you're an entrepreneur and you have to really start, and communication skills. So I really recommend that, A, don't go to your friends for what you want to do, because your friends and family can be your biggest benefit, also be your biggest doubters. So and no one's a prophet ever in their own home. You could be a great, your kids will look at you like, what? So go to your local chamber of commerce, go to your local business center, take some objective advice on what you want to do, get some help you do some research. There's 1,000 courses online. Everybody wants to sell you a slick course that guarantees that, in 6 months you'll be up and you'll be making $10,000 a month and all those promises. And you know what? You can spend money so fast and not and blow your bank account apart so fast with these. There's a lot of great people, but you don't know which one's going to serve you. So local commerce, local business center, take some advice on how to research your market, how to find, how fine-tuning here are. Take the time to do that groundwork properly. So you're not out there flailing around like a fish on a seashore. And, and take some personal development. I'm not the same person I was a few years ago, and I won't be the same person. I had to learn to be more outgoing, more connecting, better with, just little networking things. So I was communicating better. Get out from behind my desk, get out from, outside and start to connect with people. So take those time to put those pieces in place. So you've got a good foundation. Then you'll know what courses are going to serve you properly. And again, your local chamber may have a lot of free resources. Your library has a ton of free resources and wonderful people there to help you as well. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's not good. They have great resources to research your market incredibly well. The library and the post office as well is another great resource. So
one of the things that I'd like to add also, on the note that you said, although I come from an entrepreneurial family, one side of my family, And however, you know, a lot of the other ones, people don't understand entrepreneurs. They think we're crazy, you know, because we're always doing this, and I'm always got my fingers in this, and what exactly is it that you do? We don't get it. How are you making money? I mean, it's just like, and so it can be a very negative or hostile environment, and not necessarily that they may not mean to do it. Some do, some are unhappy about your success, but it's tough. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is, number one, get yourself a mentor. And to find a mentor, you need to ask around and get, referrals and recommendations and all that other kind of stuff. Find somebody who has already done what you want to do and model their behavior. Go talk to them. I mean, it will catapult you eons ahead where you don't have to make the same mistakes that they did. It took them 20, 30 years to get to where they are. So learn from all of that good stuff. Don't make the same mistakes. That would be number one. Get yourself a mentor. Number two, surround yourself with people who understand the entrepreneurial mindset. Now, it's also good to have a group of people that can keep you grounded from all different kinds of things. But let me tell you what, if you need inspiration, sometimes you've had a really hard week, or things are not going your way, you need to get around some like-minded people so they can help pick you up and hold you up during those tough times. Because folks, no matter what people say, it's not overnight success. It's tough, it's hard. If you don't work, you don't get paid. And a lot of people don't understand that. They just look online and think, oh my gosh, these people don't do nothing. They got, gazillion dollars coming into their bank accounts. No, you've got dry months, dry days, dry weeks, all of that stuff. So I'm going to give us a plug. We do this every Friday at our Lunch and Learn Zoom Friday event. This is a safe place for you to come to share your issues, to share tools and resources and all that stuff. But you can find others, out there online. But please get yourself a mentor, find yourself a good supportive group, and find one that you fit in. Not all tribes are equal. Not all tribes are for all people. So get out there and find a good place for you to be. And, personally, don't share your dreams with people who cannot lift you up and be proud for you. That's a number one. You want to tell everybody you're excited, and you want to go tell everybody what you're doing. And, most people are not like you. Most people are average. And guess what? Most entrepreneurs don't want to be average. We want to do that. What's that saying I always say? Do that little extra, because we want to be extraordinary, not ordinary. That's who we are. That's our DNA. So anyways, I just wanted to share that little clip with you. So Richard, what lessons have you learned? What's something that you know now that you wished you'd known sooner?
I think one of the things you said about getting out and getting to know people. People can say, well, that's not my nature. I'm a loner. I'm not a talker, blah, blah, blah. I saw a post one time, Watts. Most people that were leaders in industries were very much a loner. They took time, but when they're alone, they took time to research. And most people who I have a term, people who come the farthest go the farthest. Sometimes you're way down the social ladder in life, and you've had to really work hard to find something what I call normal. Maybe for me it was self-care and things in my life didn't really. But when you have that commitment to self-improvement, self-awareness, and who you are, you continue to work through that. It's that every step is a layer of resistance, like peeling the onion out. So I just think that I should have spent more time going to my commerce again, doing some of the research. I bought some courses and did some things and probably spent money that really didn't serve me. So looking at my market and things like that, and how to make the little sale. People think they're going to open a business and they show up. Nobody knows you even exist. So how to get yourself out there. And again, when you're mentoring with someone, be a servant. I don't care what degree, whether you're a manager and you're mentoring with someone and they want you to sweep a floor. Do whatever you need to show that you're committed to learning to them and you're willing to listen to them and connect to people. Ask questions. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. No questions stupid when in the entrepreneurship, because there's so much out there we have no idea, and learn what you can and can't do. I'm not a techie sometimes with some of these Facebook and LinkedIn. I need help with these. So find people, barter, trade, whatever you do to help you move through some of these stages.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at your background, and that just reminded me when you're talking about personal and professional development, folks, that is so important. And with the internet now, there's so much free stuff out there. But let me warn you again, because there's so much free stuff, it's really hard. It's like finding a needle in a haystack to find out what's good, what's not, what's superior. So again, this is where your tribe can come in and help you. This is where your mentor can come in and help you. They can help recommend resources that have stood the test of time, or some that are fabulous. And then you don't have to spend a lot of money on them. I have a wonderful library, and I don't mind sharing my resources. Now, some people do, but I do not. And the way that you could work that out is, you just tell people you'd pick up the postage, both directions or whatever, instead of paying for, the course or whatever it is that you're wanting to borrow. So there's lots of ways, and some of the libraries, have some really great courses, and there's some clubs that have some things that are available as well. So, you don't need, Richard made a really great point. If you're at the same spot that you were, last month, last year, 5 years ago, if you've never picked up, never learned any new skills or whatever, you are really missing the boat. Because there's one thing that we all can agree on is times change. Now, the foundations will stay the same, but, you need to stay up on what's going on, especially like in your industry or, in the world of the internet. You don't have to be a techie, just like he said. What do? You reach out and you grab somebody who is. And that's how we need to be operating. Don't reinvent the wheel, and don't think that you need to spend 100 hours learning how to do something when there's probably somebody within your sphere of influence that you could call, and in 5 minutes they can take care of it. I mean, I've got a perfect example, Richard. I was having some issues with our new website, meetmyreferralpartners.com, and I did not realize it, but Bruce, he is a tech guy. He was an IT guy. So I got a hold of him, grabbed him on board, and he was very helpful and very kind and very supportive, and helped something that would have taken me, forever to try and figure out. There it was. So, again, get those referral partners built up so that you can look inside your Rolodex and find out, who can I call? Oh my gosh, it's 2:00 in the morning and I need some help. You can't do that if you're a lone wolf, right? Yeah. And the only way that you're going to know those things is by developing core relationships with people. And folks, it truly is all about people and your relationships. So Richard, do you have a special offer for our listeners today?
Yeah, my offer is just basically helping somebody with, I would say, a phobia, a fear of phobia, just something simple, spiders, darkness. I've had little things like that. But I also say, when we move through these phobias, you'll forget you had it. So don't look sometimes for the results of, do you remember when I cleared you of this? And it looked like I never had that. Yeah, you did. So we when we move through these emotional sticking points, we forget where we are. So one of the things I want to recommend in this journey is take some notes of where you are, because you forget sometimes. You look back and you realize what was a problem 2 months ago. You're looking, that's not a problem anymore. So I have moved, I have changed. We don't recognize our own growth and give ourselves sometimes enough credit for this journey. This journey's endless. It is totally endless. 10 years now, we'll still be digging through layers, but we're having fun because we look back at notes and says, man, that was nothing now. So, and I always laugh, if you think you got problems, put them in a hat and share your hat with somebody else to take out their problems. You'd be looking for your own back.
Amen on that, let me tell you. Well, can you think of anything else that we might have left out that you'd like to share with our listeners before we get off of here, Richard?
Again, have a group, somebody around you. Again, get connected with a group that holds you accountable. So somebody can there when you're down a bit, that you got to pick me up and be willing to give and share. And just, the group is tremendous for keeping you not on track, but just that community is a resource because they care. And I think that's the hardest part. You think nobody cares, somebody knows, and you go to your family. So when you go in that community, they'll support you with, I hope, unconditional love and acceptance.
Yes. And that is one thing, so important to me. And I know that's in my heart. And just about, like I said, I've just been so in awe and amazed and all of the wonderful people that I've met along this journey, and it just, continues to grow. So it's wonderful. So do you have a website, or how would you like for folks to contact you?
On Facebook, I'm Richard Morden, Life Transformation Coach is my business page. The life on LinkedIn as well, Richard Morden as well. So, and my email is rmorden@gmail.com. My cell number is 705-220-0795. I'm reachable. I'll respond back to you, and happy to have a conversation and share. It's not always about money. It's about sometimes somebody just needs a 10-minute conversation of awareness and just, I believe firmly what goes around comes around. I've lived with that principle, and it's served me incredibly well.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Folks, you've been listening to Richard Morden. Contact him. Women, are you having trouble saying no? He's your guy. He's going to help you eliminate emotional distractions, help you have more time for yourselves and your family, also allow you and teach you some strategies that you can be more resourceful and get back your time. Oh my gosh, how many hours did you say, Richard, that you could probably help them find?
10 hours a week just by saying no.
That is amazing. So join us next time as we explore a little further into the wonderful world of entrepreneurship. We offer tips and advice for everyday people who are looking for opportunities to create, fund, and live the life of their dreams, a life worth smiling about. And of course, we want you to do it through entrepreneurship. So you've been listening to Nancy Gaskins, Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur? Maybe you've been dreaming of owning and operating a business someday. How about the someday is today? See you next time.